Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to stop playing whack-a-mole with your negative thoughts. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I had a few powerful sessions yesterday, and in both cases, it was about negative thoughts and negative conditions. And in both cases, these clients were running away, resisting, trying to get rid of the negative thoughts and conditions. And I've talked about this before, but never like we're going to talk about it today. So guys, with negative thoughts and conditions, when you try to run away from them, when you try to get rid of them, when you try to kill them, it's like you're playing whack-a-mole with your thoughts. More negative thoughts come up. So here's where your power is. Just let them be. Instead, start becoming curious about your thoughts. Start observing them. When those negative thoughts come up, start being kind of curious and fascinated why they're even there. Hear this, you start controlling it. In fact, you can move between positive and negative thoughts. Feel that conscious control. Call them forth. When that negative thought comes up, in one case it was a client that was already in their wish fulfilled. In fact, they manifested it. They were with their SP. And then the next day, they started having those thoughts again. When that happens, just invite the others to the party. And start observing it. Start being curious. Start moving back and forth between the fulfillment and the negative thoughts. Feel that conscious control. I think the light really went on for him. He said it was like those movies where they're trying to blackmail you and you just get all the information out there. And so that the leverage of that blackmail has no more leverage. That's your negative thoughts. They have no more leverage when you bring them to conscious awareness. Let's hit this like we never have before. It's not the conditions, events, or circumstances that hurt. It's your thoughts about them. It's just the conditions are just conditions. Thoughts are just thoughts. It's when you judge them and classify them, analyze them, and pigeonhole them, and start to feel them in a certain way, that they become real, that you identify with them. And thoughts only hurt when you believe them. So it's not the conditions, events, it's never the circumstances that hurt, it's your thoughts about them. And the thoughts only hurt when you believe them. Thoughts only feel bad when you identify with them, when you believe that's who you are and that's your life. Wow, that's powerful. That's why it's not about positive thinking. It's about positive feeling. Hear this, because you only ever feel your thoughts, but you can't control your thoughts. You get thousands of thoughts every day. It's not about controlling any of it. It's about going to the feeling, right? One feeling, this comes from the teachings of Dr. David R. Hawkins, can create literally thousands of thoughts over a period of a lifetime. So stop trying to control and conjure positive thinking and go to the feelings, the feeling of fulfillment, the feeling that you want, and move between it. And get fascinated by those negative thoughts, right? Don't fall in love with them, but observe them and understand that they're just thoughts. They have no power, right? If we could surrender to the underlying painful feeling, all those thoughts would disappear instantly. This is Dr. David R. Hawkins from Letting Go. Hear this. If you could surrender the feeling, the feeling that hurts, then those thoughts, those thousands of thoughts that are associated with that feeling go away too. This is why it's the Hawkins method when he talks about feeling it all, feeling it to the end, and it ends. This is the Sedona method. This is the Dr. David R. Hawkins teachings. Right? Lester Levinson. It's all about feeling those thoughts to the end and they will end, right? Negative thoughts, it's not about resisting them, getting rid of them, avoiding them, or trying to run away from them like you've been doing. In fact, just see them for what they are, observe them, right? Release them back into the field of infinite potential by integrating them within the whole of who you are. Just integrate them. They're part of who you are. It doesn't mean you have to focus on them. Why? Because then they just become thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts until you label them. Thoughts are just thoughts until you judge them. Thoughts are just thoughts until you identify with them. Wow. Once you don't label them, you don't identify them, you just integrate them back into who you are. Every negative thought or condition, remember, is a positive desire and intention. On the other side of that thought is something that you want, is something that you dream of, is something that you desire. So trying to run away from it, trying to kill it, trying to get rid of it, moves you from what you really want. Because all your focus is on trying to kill this illusionary negative thought, when it's just a thought, and on the other side of that thought's everything you want. Wow. Hear this, right? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And this really gets to the parable of the wheat and tares. Jesus talked about this parable. We're going to get to this in a few minutes. But allow your desire to grow in fulfillment as the negative thought falls away, right? Whenever you're fighting negative thoughts, you're contracting in fear. You're contracting your consciousness, right? And instead, let them be there. Hear this. Let the negative thoughts be there right alongside the positive thoughts of fulfillment. And then you're expanding your consciousness to such an extent that those negative thoughts then fall away. Wow, that's big. So, I'm always broke and never have any money. This is one of you, not one of you a few days ago. And I actually used these examples in an earlier teaching, in an earlier video. Remember, this is on the other side of this thought is everything you want. Divine supply is always flowing to me, providing me exactly what I desire when I desire it. On the other side of that negative thought, if you don't judge it, if you don't label it, is everything you want. I hate being alone and afraid I will be alone my whole life. But on the other side of that is everything you want. I'm loving my freedom and who I am, and I'm excited to share my life with someone special. Do you see it? If you try to kill these thoughts and judge them, you're missing out on everything that you are and all your fulfillment. You're contracting the consciousness out of fear, as opposed to letting it expand. Let the negative be what you call negative or label negative, be right there next to the positive. Why? As you expand and as you move and wish fulfilled, the negative falls away. They separate, right? So negative or unwanted conditions and thoughts cannot persist and exist in your life unless you believe they can. Unless you believe they can, unless you judge them that they can. That's big. So stop playing whack-a-mole with your negative thoughts. You're just going to get another one. You're trying to control them, right? Allow them to be there as you gently guide your thoughts by telling a new story, your inner speech, your inner talking, right? You're gently guiding your thoughts now. Thoughts are just thoughts until you judge them, analyze them, and pigeonhole them, right? Start guiding them. You have more than 6,000 thoughts a day, so trying to judge them, analyze them, sort through them, and separate them is in vain. Can you see that? That's why Hawkins, Levinson, go to the feeling. Go to the feeling. Create the feeling state or emotional set point that allows and attracts the corresponding thousands of thoughts daily, right? Go to that feeling. So there's two ways, right? One, feel it, feel the negative feeling or the feeling that you're associating with it to the end and it will end. Release the feeling and it releases thousands of thoughts with it. And conjure the feeling that you do want of fulfillment, and that will attract thousands of thoughts about fulfillment that relate to fulfillment, right? Create the feeling state or emotional set point that attracts the corresponding thousands of thoughts daily or the feeling of your wish fulfilled. That's why Neville Goddard says or called that feeling is the secret. That's why that one feeling will then attract thousands of thoughts. So powerful. So, tares among the wheat, or in other words, weeds among the wheat. This is a parable that Jesus taught. Jesus, in Matthew 13, he talked about several parables, several stories comparing the kingdom of heaven to certain things. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is your spiritual consciousness. It's peace, it's love, it's harmony. It's that higher you, it's that inner being, it's that higher light within you. The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. Hear this. This is the first part of it, right? Remember, when you're sowing good seed in your field, you're imagining your wish fulfilled. You're thinking those empowering thoughts, right? The field represents the 3D mind or the world, right? So you're sowing good thoughts. You're imagining your wish fulfilled. That's the world in your 3D mind with your thoughts, and those attentions are now being sowed, right? Then in 25 it says, but while his men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went away. Hear this. While his men were sleeping, in other words, you fell unconscious, right? You fell unconscious, the enemy came. What's the enemy? Destructive thoughts, negative thoughts, things that you label as negative thoughts, right? And then these weeds were sowed among the wheat, and then they went away. In other words, it's the subconscious, right? They get stored there, right? So these are those negative thoughts. The weeds in the wheat represent the world of duality, right? Where you have negative thoughts and positive thoughts. But really, there's no really negative, positive, they're just thoughts, right? But you're judging them, right? And then it says, do you want us then to go and gather them up? That's what the slaves asked the master. Do you want us, if those enemies planted weeds among the wheat, do you want us to go and pull up the grains that represent wheat? And again, this is your tendency to want to get rid of them, to want to resist them, right? To want to pull them up and get rid of them. You start putting your focus and attention on the negative thoughts, fighting them, contracting your consciousness in fear, contracting yourself in fear, right? And what does the master say? No, for while you're gathering the tares, you may uproot the wheat. You may uproot the good thoughts, your wish fulfilled, the things you really want, by keeping focused on the things you don't want. Do you hear this? And then it says, so in other words, you may uproot the wheat with them. You may throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Leave the negative thoughts be while you turn your attention to your fulfilled desires, while you turn the attention to all you want. Let them grow side by side, right? You can even observe them and say, well, they're just thoughts, right? But then when harvest time comes, right? When the harvest is full, when you're in your wish fulfilled, they will separate. The negative thoughts fall away. That's the power there. Allow both to grow together until the harvest, until fulfillment, right? If you resist and try to get rid of the negative, you end up killing both your desire and the negative. Wow. You kill everything. You shrink, you contract due to fear and doubt. Don't focus on the unwanted. That keeps you focused on the unwanted. That keeps you focused on what you're judging as unwanted conditions or negative thought. Instead, allow your consciousness to expand and rise as you focus on your wanted realities, on your wish fulfilled. When you do, you're nourishing and developing spiritual thought. And that negative thought then falls aside. They're separated at harvest time, right? So you're not going to do anything with them, right? The wheat or the tares, negative or the negative thought is separated, falls away as you rise in consciousness. That is how to stop playing whack-a-mole with negative thoughts. Do this instead. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos and the channel. That's how we get our message out. You can follow us on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful. We also have a group called the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors on Facebook. That's facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Karen. And also visit our website anytime at tomkaren.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Creators, until next time, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom with Be Something Wonderful. See you soon.